Hi, this is Aneri, and I am here with a collection overview video. But as you probably noticed from the little clip starting this video, I have been able to upgrade some things. Mostly just a laptop, but I now have a laptop that can do like video editing and other things like that. Um, but I basically had a choice between a new laptop and a new phone. Chose the laptop just because I can do so much more with it. New phone though is definitely still on the list, high up on the list of things I need to invest in. But right now it works. That said, because of the new ability to edit, I can actually make the really long videos that I've been kind of avoiding because my phone it only has so much storage. So I have to always be careful of like how much time, because once it hits that storage and I'm like taping, it just deletes the entire video. It has not been fun. But that no longer has to be an issue. And like I said, this is going to be a nice long video as I go through my entire collection. And I can take my time, as I'll just be doing it all in segments. That said, let's launch in, because I think last count, how many? So that's 6, 8, 10, like 13 binders? Yes, 13 binders that we're going to be going through. And I store, or pretty much divide everything up. Since I've noticed with groups, there are certain companies or groups from certain companies that I tend to gravitate to. JYP is one of the big ones for me. So I have all their groups kind of sorted together-ish in these red binders. Hype is another. Then I have just a lot of miscellaneous. After that, don't do the boy group, girl group thing, because I'm non-binary and it just, I don't know. I like not to divide things by binary genders. That's just me. So that all said, let's start with this JYP binder, which I really need to work on the cover for, but this is my miscellaneous binder for it. And we start with actually some Wonder Girls, since I got their album Wonder World and it still had like these postcards. And I keep them here because Wonder Girls is a very kind of like special group to me, as most of the early groups that I got into, it was because I got into their Japanese releases. Wonder Girls was the first group that I went ahead and actually was looking for a K-pop group that would catch my interest, and they were the ones that did so, and actually kind of forward my trajectory into liking more JYP groups, or looking at JYP groups and finding that I tend to like a lot of them, because I got into them around the time 2PM had debuted, and totally loved 2PM from the start. This page has a couple of their, I'm not sure if I really want to call them photo cards, because this little text is kind of like for ticket, or not the first one, but like the second two kanji, I'm pretty sure is the kanji for the word ticket, and that's because that's what these pretty much were. You got them in the albums or the first press release of them, and they would have like high five or handshake events, and you would need to bring one of these, and that's why if you ever see these like with holes punched around this area, that is a used ticket. Like someone actually went to one of the events and they punch the hole when they get there to show that it's been used. I do like collecting them. I'll probably want to like fill the entire page with these, but it like 2 p.m. in general, it is a collection that I'm just being very casual and taking my time with. Of course, being a second gen group, 2 p.m. doesn't really have a lot in the way of photo cards for their releases. This is from Gentleman's Game. I keep on wanting to say Gentleman's Game, but it's Gentleman's Game. And I do have half of the regular edition and only one of the limited. They're not the easiest to get just because 2 p.m. being an older group, there's just not a lot of resale out there for them. I do want to at least get Nikon and Taekyon theirs to add. I would love to get a Junho, but since he is such a popular actor at the moment, all his cars are just so expensive. But I would love to have like him here in this collection. Probably just the regular edition. I think Junkei will probably be the only one I would get. I would just have the limited edition for, because he is my favorite member of the group. And of course we have Woo Young and Chun-sung. Yes. Pretty sure I got that right. I hope. Sometimes names just kind of... I'm just terrible with names and faces. It's just part of a learning disorder I have. I try my best not to mangle the best I can. But yes, other than that, then their release Must, which is what they released a couple years ago, pretty much to celebrate all 6 of them being out and done with military service. I'm getting 3 of the members. Junkei, of course. I think I happened to already have some Nitkun when I made this decision, because I realized that getting Junho was just going to be impossible. So I happen to have 3 members, and I figured, well, those are going to be the 3 that I'll collect, and Woo Young being the other. And thankfully, it's a little easier to get a hold of all the units. So I do plan on probably not getting all of them, but if I can fill like that line and then like this page, which I think is like the vast majority of them, I will be happy. But overall, this is a collection that I'm moving very slowly with. I do hope to make a little progress, maybe at least finish up Junkei, and maybe get at least one more car for Nikkun and Woo Young. I think that would be great, but overall, not too much of a hurry, because it's hard to tell when the world they're ever going to release their next comeback. They're kind of like almost constantly on indefinite hiatus. But I love this group. So this page, this is actually a 12 pocket, which is for stickers, and figured that'll be perfect because one of their Japanese releases actually has these little stickers, which, as you can see, is a great fit for these. I have 3 of them so far. Do plan on getting the other 3 eventually. And I'm gonna have that as a divider between like the group stuff and the solo Junkei collection I have going here. These are actually pre-order benefits from his the last release he had, which was 20 minutes. And these are the cards I pulled from the version I got. This is an old tour card. And then these are just inclusions from that So solo release. And that is 2 p.m. done. Then we skip all the way to Nijiyu. I love this group. I watched the survival program and just fell in love with all the girls. My top two are Nina and Rima. I can't even say I fully collect Nina because I'm not getting her limited edition. I just get her regular edition cards, so they're pretty standard with how they release their releases, where it's always like 3 different versions. So every release, get 3 cards for Nina. I like getting the group cards because I think that just looks really nice. And then, had this empty pocket, so I figured I might as well at least get 1 card for Rima. And I picked Nina because she's just so easy to collect for. It is sad that, she isn't more popular. But, I will gladly support her and collect her cards. But yeah, she's just an easy member to collect for, which is why I pretty much chose to get like her full sets. Rima's actually not too bad either, but I don't know, I just felt like it looks kind of awkward to try to fit the 2. Maybe I'll figure out another way to do it eventually, but since I'm trying to keep this collection simple, this is just how it works out. And this is for their first 2 singles, their first album, their following single, Clap Clap. Or actually, I better kind of turn it around. Yeah, maybe that works a little better. And I do have the page set up in here already for their their latest single, Blue Moon. I have the cards all pretty much ordered already. I just need to have those packages delivered to me, and then I'll be able to build this half of the page. And I do believe they've already announced the following single, so this page is not going to take very long to fill up. And then we have this, and this is just pre-order benefits. I think I just happened to get like these clear cards, like 1 or 2 of them, trying to collect these other cards, and I really liked them. And of course, if I got Rima and Nina, that would only get me 6. So I figured I would get one of the other members because I have 2 members that kind of tie for second after Nina and Rima. That's Riku and Rio. I ended up getting the ones for Riku to fill up this page. I was kind of hoping I could continue on, and if they kept doing these clear cards, to do Rio next, but it doesn't look like they're doing that, so I'm gonna have to figure out what to do for Rio to kind of balance that out. That said, I got these. I actually didn't realize how large these were going to be. They're pretty much clear postcards. I think they were just listed as cards, so I thought they were like photo card size. But as you can see, they are not. But I was able to get my top 4. So Rio, Riku, Rima, and Nina. So at least have something with all 4 of them. And like I said, Nina is just an easy member to collect, so I've decided to go ahead and collect some of her other photo cards. And this is what this page is for. Though I am wondering if maybe I should just, like, since these are her season's greetings, see if I can, like, do that for Rima as well. Like, I don't know. Right now I'm just planning on Nina. If I expand it or do anything else, I haven't even really brainstormed for that yet. So just expect more Nina. Guess I can. And this page, this is if I get a Rima card that I don't want to let go of. Like I got this one and I just did not want to let go of it. I figured I'll keep it. So if I get any of her cards, all her extra cards are just gonna sit and chill back here. And that is Nijiu, and I am really excited that they announced their Korean album debut, and I'm really looking forward to that. Because I really would love if more people got into this group. Everyone's so talented and they're super fun, and I just kind of feel like because they're J-pop, people feel like they gotta hold back or something just because it isn't as accessible. And it's not like they're like, a lot of their stuff is accessible, really. Maybe not like to their usual K-pop levels, but it's still not like bad. Like they have a lot of online programs that they upload to YouTube. It's subtitled. But yeah, I really hope that maybe with their Korean release, more people will give them a look. Alright, and moving on past Nijiu, we have NMIX. Love, love, love NMIX. I mean, I kind of feel like I can almost call them an alt group. I love them just so much, even though all they've released are like 2 singles and a few digital only songs, but I love them all. And I just love this group. I'm a bit heartbroken that they're no longer 7 and it's down to 6. It'll be a little weird, and honestly, if JYP and Jinny don't want to come up and say what the issue was, I'm not going to speculate. I'm just going to take everything at face value until, we get more information from a credible source. And we haven't got that, so it is what it is. That said, these 3 members are the 3 that I collect. So this is from the regular version of their debut single, Admire. And then they had their limited edition or blind package, which I at first was just getting Lily just because, again, Lily, kind of like Nina, is a very easy member to collect, and I love her. Soyeon is my favorite, but Lily is very, very close second. So yeah, I think my original plan was just getting hers, but then over time I did notice that every once in a while I could see sets for both Kyujin and Soyeon, that were in a price range that I felt was actually affordable and I could get. So I decided that, I'll just go ahead and get these for all 3. As you can see, I already have Kyujin's here. Soyeon, I'm pretty sure I've purchased. It's another thing that I just need to wait for one of the proxies. Either I'm waiting for stuff to come in, or it should be on its way. Either way, by the end of the month, this should be complete. Gonna have to wait a little bit longer for Antwerp. Though I have been doing pretty well with Lily and not so bad with Soyeon. Kyujin has a lot of her stuff on the way. I think technically I am actually done with Soyeon. I just need her stuff to, or the remaining cards that I don't have here to come in. Again, for Kyujin, I think a lot of it is just like with Solyon, where I have most of it. I think there's just one card that I still need to get for her. And I believe it's this limited one, I think. I'll have to double check. Either way, oh yes, and to mention, I put the regular edition here, and the lenticulars for the limited I decided to add to this page, and because we had got compact versions this time, and if you look at the backs, they all match. If you put the compact versions here. So that's why I decided to split them as I did. And as you can see, I'm completely done for the album cards for Lily. Solyon, I'm just missing 2, and Kyujin, I should hopefully be able to finish soon. And again, I think by the end of the month, it'll look much better for her. It's looking kind of sad now, but I swear I'm in a better position than what it looks like for collecting for her. And then we move on to POBs, or just any kind of special card for Admare, because again, I love Lily's cards. She has such fun expressions. I just love them so much. So I decided to get not all of them because that is just too much, but to fill a page worth for it. So that is what this is. And they're all from different stores and everything. For the second release, Entwerf, I decided that I would try to get stuff for all 3 members, like get 3 cards for each member. I am thinking that what I actually will end up doing is probably get another full page of 9 for Lily, and for Solyon and Kyujin, go back and get some Admar, Lucky Draws, POBs, whatever, and get 3 of those. So for them, I'll have like 3 for each era, and for Lily, I'll just have another full page because I love this group, and it's really fun. I just have a lot of fun collecting for them. And then we have larger inclusions, which there's just not much of right now. This is the sticker set that I think this came with the regular / light version. Got the Solyon postcard. I know I have Kyujin's coming in, so I just need to get Lily's. And then I'm actually done for larger inclusions for them until their next comeback with a physical release. And that is where that ends. If I add to this, it's going to be with any new group that JYP debuts and catches my interest. And we'll just see. We'll just see where that goes. So for now, that is that. And now moving on to Twice. Unfortunately, in between shooting the first part and this, a rainstorm had kind of moved through, so I've lost a lot of light from outside. Apologize for any glare, but this is going to be one of my larger collections, just because of the fact that Twice has a lot of photo cards in general, and I am collecting 3 members. I'm collecting Jiho, Mina, and Chewie. Mina is my favorite member, and Jiho and Chewie are, I'll say, tied for seconds. I mean, these are my top 3. no arguments there. But yeah, this is my collection. I am just collecting all their album photos for Mina. I don't mind like splurging a little bit and getting some of her non-album stuff, but have not done too much of that. Most of it is just album because Twice is a massive collection, even if you're only collecting one member, just for how long they've been around and just how many album or how many photo cards per album there is. So yes, just kind of for a lot of this early stuff, I'm gonna have just mostly Mina, if anyone, for it. Oh, and I am gonna have some nine member collections, just to even out the pages, so that way I can do full 9 pages for the 3. So we'll run into a few of those, and some of them you'll be able to guess what I'm using to fill them out. I keep on forgetting that these are different because from the front they look the same, but then you go to the back and they're completely different. But yeah, there's really not much to say because again, lots of blank and empty spots here for this early stuff because I'm starting from the latest release and working my way backwards. But every once in a while, if I see like a good deal or I just want to kind of break away and get something a little different from whatever current era I'm working on, I'll get that, which is why we do have a few photo cards here and there. Oh, and then of course for the album pobs, I am trying to collect all of those like as fast as possible. I actually have all of Mina's, so I just need to finish up Chewy and Jihyo. I'm actually getting kind of close with Chewy, so she might be the one next that I'll finish up with for those. Summer Nights, probably one of the few albums that I have more photos for Jihyo and Chewy than I do for Mina. For some reason, I just did not collect much for Mina except for like her pobs and this one random photo, the message one. And soon we're going to get to fuller pages. I'm so happy and proud of this page, though, I will say. The glare. Did not realize it was that bad. But yeah, this Mina card's kind of hard to get to, or it's hard to get for like a decent price. It's probably one of her more expensive cards. And if you do find it for trade, it like is gone in an instant. If you're not fast enough. But I was able to find a price that I was willing to pay for it. So then that of course means that I have everything except for like the set I need for Jihyo here. But that would be nice if I could finish that page up. But no hurries there, because again, this is all eras that I'm not quite at for any of the members. Then Year of Yes. And I do at least have 2 of the 3 ring pop cards I have. I know a lot of people say that they're very difficult to get. I didn't have too much trouble getting the 2 I have, but I'm gonna have to hunt for Jihyo and see how that works out. Okay, and now moving on to Phil's special. I have just begun working on it for Mina. This will be pretty much the album I'm going to be focusing on mainly for her, as I have reached the point where Yeah, I've gotten everything I need for her for More and More. They're not all in, but you know, I have bought them all, so time to move to the next. So then hopefully the next time I do a storing video, it'll be to fill in these blanks for Mina for More and More. Not that she has all that many at the moment. And that'll be one more album for her done. And like I said, then I'll be moving on to Feel Special. Eyes Wide Open. This is the album that I'm currently working on for Jihyo and Chewy. Let's say I'm making a little bit more progress with Jihyo, but it's a little, I don't know. They're kind of close because I just haven't gotten too many. And of course the 9 Pocket page that kind of just only started. And for 9 Pocket, or not 9 Pocket, but 9 member collections, I don't really pick a favorite so much concept, but as one that I feel like I can probably get all 9 members easily, which is why a lot of it is the Pops, because the Pops are typically the cheapest cards. So if I can do a Pop 9 member set, I will do that. Sorry, I just don't want that glare to be as bad as it is, but rainy days are a pain. I think I may just kind of wrap up for filming for today after this. But yes, Taste of Love is 100% complete. So very happy about that. Formula of Love, then I have all these. For this, I do have a Pop that I'm trying to do, OT9. I did actually purchase this Momo, but unfortunately it seems like it's gotten lost in the mail. So gonna have to rebuy it or find a trade or something. Cause that, yeah, that's the final card I need to be done with Formula of Love completely. But I'm not going to stress too much about it because, again, it's a pub. It's also still kind of fairly recent, so I should eventually find it. So no big deal there. But this is all, everything up to Formula of Love is in this first binder. And of course, again, because Twice is just so much. I do have a second binder, and this starts off with Between 1 and 2. And I did decide to have like all the Target exclusives and just add it to this page, which of course meant that I needed an OT9 set, and this is the one I've decided to do. Mostly because when I decided to do it, I was able to like pick up a couple albums just to see if I'll be lucky enough to get photo cards for like one specific set, and most of it was from this set. I do have this photo card coming, so this shall be complete by the end of the month, which will be great because of course Twice, they have their digital single coming out on the 20th of this month. But then in March, they're gonna have a comeback, a full comeback. and I want to be ready for that, which means having between 1 and 2 complete. And starting with between 1 and 2, I've decided that I'm just going to keep the full sets here of the POBs that come with the albums, kind of in celebration of the fact that they all renewed their contract with JYP. So we're going to be getting twice for at least a few years more. And then the divider as we move on to larger inclusions. And this is just kind of a small mix of stuff. This is, of course, for the stickers that come for Year of Yes. I've randomly gotten a couple of them. And as I get more, I will add them to the page. I want to collect the larger inclusions for my top 3. I mostly have Mina, no surprise, because again, she is my favorite member. But just taking my time and being very chill with the larger inclusions. I got very lucky and actually pulled most of this. I think a couple I did get to trade, but I am now completely done with larger inclusions for between 1 and 2. This here is my miscellaneous Mina page. I only have 1 photo card so far, though I do have at least 1 more on the way to be added to the page, which mainly because I just felt it looked a little lonely having the 1 card. I did try to do that earlier, but I thought this was a photo card because again it was listed as a card, just a card. So it's like, oh, photo card. No, it's not. It was postcard size, a kind of lyric card for their Japanese release Celebrate. But I don't regret it. She looks great, and I'll probably try to see if I can't find more of those for some of their other releases to add. And then we have group cards. This page is for full groups. This is for units. And then I did get Nion's solo release because it, oddly enough, around the holidays, it popped up again in Target. So I figured, you know, this time around, I'm definitely more into Twice than I was before. So I would get a copy. They didn't have the copy or the version I really wanted at the first store I saw it at and decided to pick it up. So later, I ended up going to another, or not that I was actually looking for it in any way, but I happened to be at another Target and they had the version I wanted. So I ended up picking that up. And this is just all my pulls. From that, I did pull this business card twice, which is why I only have 1 of them. Yeah. And I'm not really gonna collect more than what I have. I think that's a good variety anyway. And these are the larger inclusions for that release. And then we have these pages. I don't plan on collecting OT9. I swear I don't. But I'm finding it's harder and harder to let photo cards go. So what I have decided to do was that I'm going to hang on to any card that I pull that isn't a dupe. So the rest of the members, they're all going to have their own pages for these random cards that I've pulled. Of course, a lot of this is just between 1 and 2, because like I said, I did go back and get some more copies. So yeah, everyone I think at least has 1, and I figure it'd also make it a lot easier when I'm getting cards for the OT9 collections, that if they happen to be in like a set or a group of other cards, the ones that I need, then I can just buy the whole set, and the cards that I don't need to complete the OT9 collections can just like chill back here. Yes, that is all I have for twice. So really not too much to go on. I mean, I'm still gonna collect Jihyo, Mina, and Chewie completely, at least for album cards. Let's see. And yeah, that's about it. Have another release already in sight. Pretty sure they said it was March that'll come out. Have no idea what date in March. Hopefully a little later because NCT 127, they have their repackage that while it's coming out in January, it's not coming out in the Target stores here in the US until like early March for some reason. So I need to get that, and I'll definitely need to get twice. So hopefully they're not being released the same day. My wallet will not recover if it did. But very much looking forward to it. So far, really like what we've heard of the new digital single coming out on the 20th. So yeah, I will go ahead and finish this off here so we can move along, though like I said, it'll probably be a different day I'm filming, but for you it will be a matter of like a blink of an eye. Alright, and I am back to continue and hopefully get a little further, or much further, with this video. Moving on to the next collection is Stray Kids, which is also one of my larger collections, hence the 2 binders. So let's start with the first. And hopefully the setup, yeah, looks like it'll work. And I'm happy to report that I have finally finished an OTA collection for Mixtape, which is this first one. Very happy with that. And I'm actually very close to being able to complete the second one. I think that's gonna be one of my goals in the coming year, is to get these last 3 cards and have this completed as well. And the way that I have this set up is since I do collect LT8 for Stray Kids, just their album and none of like the special or limited cards for them, except for like a couple select cases. But definitely for these older albums, it's album cards only. But as I work on the collection, because for a while there were just so many blank 9-pocket pages, I moved everything that I didn't have at least half of the collection, you know, collected into another binder. So that's what the setup is. So this is all going to be at least either completed or things that I at least have 4 or more cards for. So I have that one I Am Not. That's the I Am Who. Don't have all of this, but for I Am Who, I'm probably going to get more albums in general to help me out, because that actually seems to be the more affordable way, sadly enough. So I feel I should be able to fill that up. Have this a set for Miro. The clay albums are probably going to be much easier to collect. As you can kind of already see, as I have like one OT8 set, I have pretty good progress on a couple others from those, the Clay trilogy, as we have Levanter here. And then it just completely jumps and skips over to No Easy. No Easy is definitely a collection, or yeah, gonna be an era that I'm going to be focusing on in this coming year, so that way I can hopefully finish it off, as it's still pretty easy to collect, and I hopefully can get what I need before that changes. I think there's like just a couple Hyunjin or Felix cards that may be a little harder to get, but everything else should be pretty good. So I actually have a couple of these pretty close to done, but then I have like one set where I don't even have like half of them yet. This is probably be the next one I'll finish up. And I am getting these pops for No Easy just because, again, still easy to collect. So I'm getting those. And I was lucky enough to find someone who was selling the full set of this pop for No Easy, or pop set for No Easy, so I was able to get that. And of course, I'm definitely finishing Christmas Evil. I just need the Changbin. I just kind of ran out of time and money to finish it before the end of the year. But again, Changbin is not difficult to get. I was focusing on the harder ones to get. Now that I've got them, I just need to get him, because I already have this collection completed. Glitter cards, they were the easiest. And Christmas Evil was actually the first Stray Kids comeback that I actually pre-ordered an album for, so I have the pod set for that. And then of course we have Ordinary, which is completed for what I am collecting, which is of course just the basic OT8 sets. I got really lucky and did not pull many duplicates, so this was a pretty easy one to finish with just buying the albums and not too many of them. Maxident was a little harder, got a lot more dupes, but I am now done with them. And I set this up so that way you can kind of do the matching hearts, though some of them don't match as well as others, but I don't care. I just thought that was something cute and different. And then of course this set, this Jungin was the last one I needed to complete everything. And then probably one of the things I'm going to do is move larger inclusions into the other binder. Just because I am collecting or finishing and getting more progress on the collections I have. So this binder's getting kind of full, which is pretty nice. Yeah, so for what I'm trying to do with the postcards is for vertical, I want all the vertical like in these pockets and all the horizontal in these. Kind of got thrown off with these love letter sets from accident, but I figure if I get more of these, then they'll kind of balance each other out. But yeah, do have the full set for that. I do have the full set of stickers for everyone. Do not have these larger inclusions complete for Ordinarium Accidents. I do need to work on those. They take a back seat to the photo cards, which are the big thing right now for me. Though Maxident, I got much luckier, and I'm only missing one member. For some reason, Hyunjin never came home, despite the amount of albums I got. But yeah, did get everyone else. So I could probably finish that one off real easy if I wanted to, but then again, it's like spend money on photo cards or larger inclusions, and the photo cards tend to win out. Alright. And second album for Stray Kids. Of course, in the coming year, like I said, I just want to finish up that one mixtape. OT8 collection, and No Easy, and of course finishing that one, Christmas Evil. This one is just, I have all the pages set up for everything I don't have, so you're gonna see a lot of blank pages and a lot of pages like this where I only have like one or two cards, because again, once I hit 4 they go into the other binder. But yeah, definitely want to get more I Am Who albums, because these cards, even though there are 27 of them, because you have one for each member, and you only get one per album. Yeah, and there's 3 sets of them, but you don't get one of each set or a couple from the sets. You just get one, which is kind of BS if you ask me. But that makes these kind of earlier eras so hard to collect. So, gonna be very slow moving. I got this Hyunjin only because Bai had a coupon that would take 1,500 yen off of a purchase, so I decided to get one of the more expensive cards. Thus, I got this Hyunjin, and he is my lone I Am You card right now. And yeah, like I said, for the clay albums, doing actually okay. Still got a couple of these blank pages, but then I got like pages like this, so it's coming along slowly but surely. So I can definitely see a couple more of those pages being moved to the other binder, which again, another reason why I need to move the larger inclusions into this one. Yeah, and now we finally have some stuff in between the clay albums and No Easy, as I do have some Go Live and also In Life. Mixed in with so many blanks. But I'm actually kind of happy with what I have for In Life. I really didn't think I would have this much so quickly, so yay. Because I think those 2 eras are also going to be kind of hard, because they don't give you many photo cards either. And this is the one No Easy collection that I just don't have much of, but I can see that that will definitely change this upcoming year. This is for random group, unit, and group cards. I actually discovered I had this card without realizing it, because recently I've just been going through all my like physical albums, and I happened to find that, so it has been added to the collection. This binder also has my little Sungmin collection. He is my favorite member, so for him, I am willing to get like pops for. So that's what a lot of these are. And I almost have a full page. Most of it is Maxident. And then we have Japanese cards, and most of this is, or the first two are what I have pulled. This Sungmin I did purchase, just because I think I found a set with a couple other things for pretty cheap, so. Yes. There's really not much to say. I've already kind of said it with the first one. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. I'm going to keep on top of whatever they continue to release. Of course, you may have noticed none of the jewel cards, and that's because those are going to be Sungmin only, and I have been kind of dragging my feet on that. Need to correct that. Start getting those soon before they get pricey. Yeah, so that'll probably be my goal for my little Sungmin collection, is to get those jewel case, and I think it's like a file version or whatever for Maxident. Either way, those member specific releases that come with their releases nowadays, I am keeping to just Sungmin, so that way I don't go completely broke collecting Stray Kids, because that is very easy to do, especially if you're collecting OT8 like I am. I mean, just getting those early eras, that's enough. That is going to be enough for me financially. So that wraps up Stray Kids. Again, didn't have too much to say, so let's just go ahead and move on, because I still have a lot to cover. Alright, and moving on to ITZY, which is going to be the last JYP binder I have. I have kind of switched things up just a little, because there's definitely going to be some changes from how I plan on collecting. I guess starting off, we have my OT5 collections. So yeah, I don't really plan on collecting OT5, but you know, I had this. Then with Checkmate, they had this set. I love this set, so I ended up buying the full thing for all 5 members. And I figure, you know, after that, I'll set this up for every once in a while, maybe getting an OT5 set. But then with Cheshire, they had these neon cards, and since you got one for, you were guaranteed to get one for each copy of the album that you had, no matter which version. It was very easy to collect, so I figured might as well add them to the collection. Oh, and I think that looks, yeah, that captures everything a little better. And of course I set them up like this because honestly, if you're gonna have an OT5 or even OT6 collection in a 9-pocket binder, this is probably one of the most satisfying setups for that. And with the latest release, I've decided to get the unit cards. I have 2 that I really need to find because I was able to set up a trade for one, but that one is one of the one of the units with Yuna in it, so it won't be in this page. So there's just 2. I'm gonna have to probably move and shuffle things around if I am able to get those, because of course it's the Rujin Yeji unit, and then the Rujin Leah. And the Rujin Leah is kind of hard to find because they're doing like the little cat claw pose, and it is super adorable. So I can definitely see why people would not want to trade that if they pulled it. But yeah, those are the two that I'm missing. And if I get that, then I'll have all the unit cards, because I was actually able to manage to pull everything else. And one of the changes is that after my OT5 stuff, I had then a whole bunch, all their larger inclusions. I have moved all the larger inclusions in the back, so this is actually the start of my Yuna collection, because I do collect for her. And I've decided to change up what I collect for her, because I realized with this latest release that I just hated the idea of collecting for her. And it was all about the stupid limited and special cards. So what I've decided to do is that actively, I'm not going to bother with those. I'm just going to stick with album cards, solo and unit. No special or limited editions unless it's like super easy to get a limited edition card. Because some of them, you know, if they're a clear card or lenticular, they're not that hard to find and for a good price. But some of the other stuff, very difficult, and I'm just not going to bother. And once I made that decision, I felt so much better. And that's the thing about, you know, card collecting, is that ultimately you're doing it because you enjoy it on some level. And if anything or anything about it that is making you unhappy, you've got to figure out, you know, do you stop collecting or do you change, you know, what you're doing with your collection? That said, as you can see, I don't have too much of like her early stuff, because this was something I just decided to do, I think, in the last half of last year, and even then it wasn't like actively collecting for her for a good chunk. So I have decided that I do have like a couple special and limited cards, and if I do get them, I have them. And that's going to go the same with their Japanese releases. I'm not going to really hunt those down either. If I get them, I get them. If I don't, I don't. But yeah, for the special limited, if they're able to like help fill out a page like here, I'll go ahead and put them on these pages. Yeah, like for this one, that kind of gets it to a 7 pattern. And then for Checkmate, like this clear card, which never wants to be straight. I can relate though. But yeah, it helps fill out this page. I am tempted to actually get the special edition cards because they're unit cards. And unit cards usually aren't very much in demand, so if I can find them for a decent price, I may get them, because Una has, of course, 4, and that would fill up the 9-pocket page. This is what I have so far for Cheshire. Like I said, I do have the other units coming. I was able to find the lenticular, and that was before I made my decision, but even then, you know, I might as well get it so that way you can fill the 9-pocket page. And I'm still trying to get this last unit. For some reason, like, one of the most basic looking solo unicards is giving me the most trouble, which is surprising because everyone was like complaining how like sunglass cards are gonna be so hard, but no, I was very lucky. I pulled this, no problem. Is just this last unicard. But hopefully I get that set up soon, or find a trade for it. Or if worse comes to worse, purchase it, find it for sale somewhere. But yeah, so hopefully I'll have this done and it'll be a nice full 9-pocket page. In this page, that's just kind of extra back here. That's if I happen to get any of like those special or limited cards and they don't really fit on these pages, they can just go back here and chill. Yes, and I feel so much better that I don't have to worry about getting limited and special editions, because it's just too much. I mean, I enjoy Etsy, I like Etsy, I wouldn't be collecting them if I didn't, but they're kind of, I don't want to say they're low on the list, but they kind of are, because there's so many other groups that I like more than them. And again, like I said, it's not like I don't like them, it's just there's more groups that have a priority over them. So if I wasn't going to cut back like that, I probably would just drop the collection, and I don't want to do that. I've tried that before and I really miss collecting them, so I think what I've decided is the better decision. And these are larger inclusions and other kind of random inclusions. As you can see, these are all divided for the 4 members. I don't really collect or do full collections. I decided to keep them separate just because it's a lot easier to find things that fit for a 4 unit than it is a 5 unit, basically. And plus, I do collect more of the larger inclusions for Una, so that would just look kind of awkward. Like for this. Perfect 4 unit. Let's see. And then we have the Una section, which again, you know, those I don't have for the others. Like I only collecting these for Una. Or actually, no, I don't think I am. I think I am collecting the rest. I don't have all the larger inclusions in here because I ran out of the pages I needed. But yeah, this definitely only Una, and same with these Cheshire postcards. I still have so many of this Una. She definitely wanted to make sure that, you know, I got a copy of that. Of the Target exclusive. Yeah. That wraps up Etsy. Very short, and like I said, going forward, I think my decision to just really focus on the album cards and not to bother with limited, special, or Japanese editions is gonna make it so much, or gonna make me much happier collecting. Because again, there is so much I need to collect for Una for these earlier eras that I need to get started on. And I'd like to at least have one Photocard pure era for her. That is my goal for 2013 for my Etsy collection. Other than, of course, you know, keeping up to date as they come out with releases, and hopefully it'll be a while before their next one, seeing as there was not a lot of time between Checkmate and Cheshire. So hopefully we get a break now and I can just focus on finishing Cheshire and getting some of those older cards. Yes. And just let this be a nice chill collection like it was always supposed to be. Alright, and now that we're done with the JYP groups, moving on to High, because they also seem to have the groups that I tend to like, to put simply. Of course, starting with the multi-group binder, and Hyphen is the first one here. I used to have like a complete Nikki collection, then I downsized, got rid of it all, or like the vast majority of it, except for like a couple cards. and then realized I really like the collection and I wanted it back. So I'm working on getting it back. And I think I've actually done a pretty good job this past year with doing that. I have a little something for each era. I'm so happy that I'm almost done, and hopefully I'll have this completed soon. And yeah, hopefully I'll get like the first couple of releases, all his cards for those, since from Dimension Dilemma on, oh no, Dimension Answer on, it's all complete. Though, of course, there isn't much there, except, of course, Manifesto. There was a lot for Manifesto. But I have everything now since I got the 2 Weavers cards. So I kind of put it here with all the engine version cards. And I did decide to do something to change up. So I'm not just collecting Nikki from Manifesto on. I will be collecting Hisung, Jay, and Suno, but in a limited capacity. Like for Manifesto, I'm only going to get 3 cards each. And I actually have all of Junction because I decided to get these concept cards, and I happen to have them all, which is partly why I decided to go with that. And I'm doing the photo book selfies for District, mainly because I had this Hisung, and this is a big part of why I decided to go ahead and collect these 3, because I love this card. And of course I realized, you know, with NCT I collect some members in like a limited amount, and I realized, hey, I can do that with N-hyphen too, and that would actually be perfect. So of course these 3 are more or less my top 3 after Nikki, who is my bias. Jay is probably second, and it goes back and forth between Hisung and Sunu, so it works out so well that I can collect all of them, you know, these 3, so I don't have to actually pick between these 2. So, and then of course for the M version, I am getting the selfie version of the engine version. That's what the plan is for that. So, but not in a huge rush right now, though I have a feeling we're going to get an announcement for a new comeback for N-hyphen sooner rather than later, because it's been a while since I've had a Korean comeback. And they've just released they've had their latest Japanese release. Do need to catch up on Japanese releases for what I collect for Nikki, which is usually about 2. I might actually collect 3 for Sadame, because there are so many photo cards for that one. But we will see. I'm still kind of focusing on getting more back things. I'm not too worried about the Japanese releases. This is just random page where I get random Nikki cards and any like group cards that I happen to have. And then we have larger inclusions. I only keep 1 version of each release. So I don't have all the larger inclusions. Oh, and I've decided that since I'm collecting those 3, I'm not going to like try to go and get their larger inclusions, but if I happen to pull them, I will keep them. Nikki, though, I do need 1 more, so I might get some more for the others just so I can have that evened out. We'll see. And that is the last of that. We then move on to Le Seraphim, where I collect 3 members, Sakura being 1. For Fearless, I have pretty much the 1 card, But here for Anti-Fragile, which is when I started collecting, Sakura, Yunjin, and Kazuha are the ones that I am collecting for, and just getting album cards because that is more than enough. Hybe does not make collecting cards easy because they just don't give a lot. Like, there's only one of these cards in each of their photo book albums. That just seems a little ridiculous. But it is what it is. So, and it's a lot of what Hybe usually does anyway. Either way, I do have the last one I need for Kazuha on the way, so I just need to pick up these two. And I'm definitely going to focus on finishing up Anti-Fragile. Thankfully, I have most of the compact versions done. I'm just missing this Kazuha, and then that's done, which is great because prices have just gotten higher and higher for this group in the past few months. I guess more people actually kind of checking it out now that things have more or less stabilized. There's no like major drama, and they're just a really solid group with a lot of great music. This is for the Weavers. I do have these two. Not exactly on the way, but I have secured these two. I just need to secure these. So I'm getting pretty close to finishing up Anti-Fragile, and once I do, it'll probably be time to work on the Japanese single, but for that I'm going to do what I do with TXT, where I'm going to pick one version and just collect like the set for that one version. Nothing more, nothing less. And I'll just do that for their Japanese releases, so that way it's not overwhelming. Because the Korean releases do enough of that. Then of course we have all the unit and group photos. These are just the backs of this card because I have so many copies of this. It's the bonus international version, and you get it for every copy you get, and I ended up with a lot. This is the Target exclusive group card, so I was able to at least find sales for that. It's hard to find people who need or want this just because it was a lot easier to get. Then move over to larger inclusions, the postcards for the photo book album for Anti-Fragile. Then these are the postcards for the compact versions, which were all like for each member. I did collect OT5, so there's the older 3 and then the younger 2. And I got these, I ended up from Aladdin. I got 3 copies of the Weavers edition, and I didn't realize it came with like these bonuses, but they did, and I decided that I'll just keep all 3. I do need to lift this to change because I need to like get some double-sided tape so I can like tape them in place so they don't go flying out of the pockets, because that is an issue I have with those. Then we just have a free page basically. Have this here just in case I end up with any of Sakura's Ice 1 cards. Not really looking to collect them, but if I happen to see any and the price is right, I may get some. But yeah, not actively collecting, and just have that just in case. And then we have New Jeans. This is the OT5 set from the bag version that I was able to get from their debut. And Honey is the member I collect. I have secured the rest of her cards. I do have her blue. No, I think I do have all of them coming in, and that should hopefully be soon. So I'll be able to complete everything for the debut release for Honey, at least. In Hayren, by mistake, I accidentally got sent her version of, I guess the giant blue box version, or pretty much her solo version, and decided, since this is the debut release, I'll go ahead and keep it. So I am collecting her just for the debut. Moving on, it's just going to be Honey. So I have her blue book. I still need to get the other Weavers, but no rush. I don't have anything set up for Ditto yet. I need to, but at the same time, I'm not in a rush. Because I like New Jeans, enjoy them, but they're not like anywhere close to an old group. Let's see. And these are the larger inclusions. And technically, there is a lot of spot, but I don't have the cards for it. And that is, I am collecting the cards for Maki of And a Team. I watched all of And Edition. Really like Maki, and also the fact that I know he's not super popular, so he'll be easy enough to collect. I mean, if I could collect another member, I'd probably collect, probably Kei and Harua. Those would probably be the other two if I wanted to do like 3 members. But those two are expensive. Also, I don't think it's exactly set. Kei, though, I feel is very much kind of a set second, or pretty much high up there. Harua, that could change as I get to know like the rest of the members a little better and such. But for now, just collecting Maki. I do have his set secured for their debut single, Howling, or first Howling, I think. And I need to get a second page, because I did get some non-album cards as well, just because they were kind of cheap. So, yes. We'll have a small growing collection for that, and hopefully I don't have to worry about adding any more groups, because it is expensive to collect hype groups. But then again, everything's kind of expensive, but for some reason I find the hype groups a little harder on the wallet than the others pure like release, especially now that they're coming out with so many different versions, like with those Weavers versions. They always have some kind of compact or like jewel case, and that's always like member exclusive, well, almost always, and Hypen hasn't done that yet. I expect that to happen sooner rather than later. Honestly, I would not be shocked if they did that for Hypen going forward soon. I mean, even with And Team, they had like solo jacket versions, but Hypen does that too with their Japanese releases, not for their Korean releases, which again then would not be surprised if they did something like that for their Korean releases. But already, you get your photo book version, you get your jewel case, compact whatever version, and then you get your Weavers version, and they almost always have a whole bunch of sets. So yeah. So I'm hoping I don't get into any more hype groups um, anytime soon. You know, what I have hopefully will be the limit. Because I don't think my bank account could take much more. Not without having to go and cut some groups. And I don't want to do that. I love collecting the groups I do. I don't want to reduce that again at all. Alright, so enough of me freaking out about an issue that does not even exist at the moment. Let us move on to happier things. So we are here with my TXT collection, which is one of my alt groups. I have two binders, though one of them is Photocards and the other is larger inclusions. So let's start with the Photocards. And I fully collect for three members. Subin, Taehyun. Why do I keep on messing up his name? I should know better. It's Taehyun. And Huninkai. They're my top three, so they are the three I collect. These are kind of for larger cards that don't exactly fit the 9 pocket. Still need to get the Eternity cards to finish these pages, which is actually going to be one of my goals for this year, is to actually work on that. Then starting with actual cards that fit in the 9 pocket pages. I feel I got really lucky that my first comeback was with Eternity, so that way I was all ready for Blue Hour and could finish this collection long before prices, especially for this card, went up. But I also was very lucky, and I pulled this card a few times, so well, I had quite the journey with Blue Hour. And the fact that I could only find like the blue version, and I only seemed to pull either the Huninkai or the Subin for the card. That was back when I was collecting OT5. But I've gone down and just collect top 3. So this is for Freeze. Yeah. And then we have Fighter Escape. So happy that I'm getting to the point where I am actually going to be done. I have this Taehyun on the way, and then it's done. It is complete. I will have all of it. And that makes me so happy. For a while, I didn't have much motivation, and that was because the fact of this Harley Quinn Subin, because it was such a pricey card, and I don't know, the fact that I didn't have it kind of just held me back from really collecting for the group. But then I eventually, got things together, got that card, and actually for a pretty decent price compared to what it was selling for. So kind of glad that I waited and found that. And, once I had that card in place, it's like, okay, now to actually get in and collect for this group. And I'm glad I did, because I do really love TXT. I love collecting for them. I should have the Subin on the way. And then I think that's the final card I need for Thursday's Child. Yeah, because I'm done over here. And I need to put in the pages for the name chapter. I believe it's Temptation. So yeah, need to actually get ready for that, because that's coming up at the end of the month. Really looking forward to that. From the previews though, it looked like they kind of killed a good portion of their fan base with some of them. But for me, they're just cute children. So it just kind of weirds me out when they're bringing out like the thirst stuff, because it's like, okay, whatever, not interested in that. But that's okay. I mean, they're growing up. It makes sense. And for those of the appropriate age, if they enjoy it, then who am I to get in their way? So, enough of that. Like I said, looking forward to that. This is Season's Greetings. Probably I need to figure out which set I'm getting for this year. And this is from their deco kits. And then, because I just felt like I kind of needed more TXT cards. I just kind of feel like I don't have enough for them. Alright, and this is the Japanese cards. I do have a set for, let's see, yeah, Good Boy Gone Bad, but I want to get their solo cards, and for their solo jackets, and it's 2, and there's 2 of them for the solo jackets, and that would complete this page. So I'll have to go back and figure out what to fill out this, because it'll definitely be a set from either Still Dreaming or Chaotic Wonderland. I guess I'll depend on which one I can find all 3 of. So I want to do that. Oh, and then after that we have my 5-member collections. Of course, with these you are getting like one of the Starseeker cards for each version of their respective releases, so they're easy to collect. And for these Target cards from Thursday's Child, I happened to pull the Yeonjun and the Beomgyu, and because I knew that I was going to get the Subin, Taehyun, and Hyun Kai no matter what, I figured I'll just hold on to them and collect all 5 for these Target exclusives. Because I definitely want, even though, yeah, definitely want to collect like some 5 sets, because again, it's an old group. What in the world is this? I cannot remember what I was doing. Are these, maybe these are the extra pages that I keep for another comeback. If so, they didn't need to be moved. They are not in the right place. Oh, and I had these kind of larger cards for Yeonjun and Beomgyu because, again, I started off collecting OT5, decided to hold on to them, and I got lenticular cards from Thursday's Child to kind of finish off the pages for them. Then we have group and unit cards. And then we have this group card, which was in the Good Boy Gone Bad Target exclusive card, since they actually released that Japanese release in Target stores here in the US. So that is the photo cards. Yeah, not too much in the way I collect is changing. Like I said, I need to get the Season's Greetings for this year. Definitely going to expand on my Japanese card collection, and have a new release at the end of the month to prepare for. So, even though like I'm constantly worried that I don't have enough TXT cards, at least they have a comeback coming up that will help alleviate that. Especially since they've now, since of course they originally only announced the 3 photo book versions, they have then announced since then there is going to be another member exclusive version, hopefully they're not blind bags like the Thursday's Child was. I'm kind of sick and tired of those. um, but either way, I'm getting them. Yeah. I guess the only thing they aren't doing for TXT yet are the Weavers. Like the ones that are just a code, a digital code and no CD. Kind of surprised they haven't done that. But I guess that's probably just a matter of time. And that will definitely make my wallet cry. To have yet more versions to get for TXT. And like I said, have that second binder for the larger inclusions. I do try to collect larger inclusions for them. I do have the little, I have like the border or the little thing for each member, which is why I keep them in here. Have the OT5 set for these little booklets. I definitely need to work on some of the latest. I'm pretty good for the earlier eras though, because they used to be one of the very few groups I collected for a while, but it's grown a lot more since then. So, let's see. I think it's Fighter Escape I start missing. Yeah, I think it's Fighter Escape is where I don't have all the larger inclusions. Yeah, I need Taehyun's there. And Yunkai's there. But I did make sure to at least collect all for some of these. Oh, for the Digipack versions, this is going to be a pain, but hopefully one day I'll get them all. This is from the Deco kit. So we have that, stickers, postcards, which I do need to finish. I think Taehyun is the only one I'm missing cards for, since I know I got Subin's full set. That said, this is from the Japanese release. I just had it, Chaotic Wonderland. Since with the Japanese releases, they tend to have like postcards for pre-order benefits. So since they're horizontal, I like putting them up here. And of course, for these postcards, they were vertical, so put them down there. So yeah, I'm just missing two Taehyun, and if I get those, then that's done for Thursday's Child. I should hurry up and do that. And then these are the larger kind of card things for tier. This is actually just a duplicate Yunkai I have, but it looks nice. I probably need to put something on the back to cover, because there's going to be larger inclusions I need to add to the pile with Temptation. Pretty sure that's the name of it. So that is the larger inclusions. And that wraps up my TXT portion. Then next up will be another group that has its own set of binders, and then I think everything else is in multi-group binders. Alright, and now moving on to NCT, which is my last kind of larger collection. I also decided recently to go ahead and move all the larger inclusions into another binder, so I really don't have anything set up for, you know, the binder itself so much, other than just have the larger inclusions in it. But yes, NCT. So I start off with all like the larger larger group releases. Let's see if I can get that glare down a little. I think that works. And this is what I have for empathy. I am just missing one Utah card, and then I am done with everything I plan on collecting. Then we have Resonance Part 1, and I know I've gone over this like in others like sorting videos and such, but I only have a few members that I will collect for each, or for all of these kind of releases. My top bias for NCT 127 is Utah. For Dream, it's Runjin. For Dream, I was collecting Chanla and Jisung fully as well. So you'll see a lot of them, though now I think I still kind of want to collect Jisung for these larger ones, but Chanla I will rotate out for other members, which is something I began doing for in general, basically, because as you see, I only collected 4 members for Empathy. For Resonance, it jumped up to 6, and of course we have the Utah, the Ranjin, and of course Chanla, because that's when I was still collecting them, and if I had them all, well, I get rid of them. Jisung, and I have Shotaru and Sungchan. Sungchan is another one that I will always collect for these larger NCT group. Shotaru, though, I only collected for Resonance Part 1. Then for Resonance Part 2, decided to collect for Hendry. And as you can see, for Resonance, I am actually... No, I'll take that back. For Part 1, I'm 100% complete. Part 2, for all the ones that I collect the regular album cards for, 100%. But then I decided to do something else, which we'll go over. But yes, Chanla, Jisung, Sungchan. And then I decided to collect 8 of these like ID cards for departure and arrival. Also going to, and I actually have these on the way, the Taeyang and the Zhaojun. I am trying to figure out if I really want to just make a full page and collect one more member. If I do, I have a feeling I have no idea who I would pick for a nice member. Either Shotaru or I guess someone from 127. I'm not sure. But I do have those 2 coming. And for an 8 set, I'll be complete. I have the Taeyong coming too, and I already have the Xiaojun. So that will be that complete. And then we go back to Universe, or we go on to Universe. And this is all complete. I have Taeil as the kind of random-ish NCT member that I was going to collect. Of course, Utah Ranjin, Chanla, Jisung, and Sungchan. And I think next time, I'll switch out Chanla for probably like another Dream member and just do that. And that is all I have for those larger projects. Then we have NCT 127. And this is going to be changing up a little bit. But for now, what I decided to do is to like partially collect 3 members, which was Taeil, Taeyang, and Utah, as they're my top 3, with Utah being my top bias. But then I had a little change of mind, and I'm swapping out Utah for Haechan because I've decided I'm going to try to collect Utah more completely. And if I'm gonna do that, then I might as well pick up another member, and I decided to pick up Heichun. So whenever I get a Heichun card that can replace one of the Yutas, I do so. As you can see, I don't have any of the sticker Heichuns. Once I do, I will start putting them in place of the Yuta. And then the Yuta can go with the rest of the direction, or the collection. Yes, that was the word I was trying to say. And I don't really have it really set up. I'm not exactly sure how, especially with two baddies, because there's like so many versions on Photocard, so we'll see where that goes. But so far this is what I have, and this is like random page for any non-album cards I pick up. I have one for him, and that's it for 127. Then we have Dream, which is the subunit of NCT that I bias. So I have a couple OT7 collections. So I have the Cafe Dream, the Agent. I actually have the mark on the way, so I just need to get Jamin, and then that will be complete. So that's kind of exciting that I'm getting close there. I do have a few more of these, I believe, on the way, so I can actually start making some progress. I think I got at least a couple more, so this will probably be done in a short amount of time. But those are 7. Then we have these OT6 collections for their circle cards, because these were the eras that Mark was not with them. And at some point I'll finish them. I'm just taking my time. And then recently I have decided that, just like with NCT, I will collect 3 members partially, and then my Ranjin collection will be, since he's my bias, that will be a full collection. And the members, of course, Heichun. I've really grown to like him a lot recently. And Chunla and Jisung says I still like them a lot. And I used to collect them along with Ranjin until I downsized, so. Since I've only recently decided to do this, I don't have a lot of cards for them yet. Hopefully that we'll see some changes. But I'm starting, I started with sticker for 127 for the 3 members, because that was the era that I finally got into the group and decided I wanted to collect cards. And for Dream, that was with Hot Sauce. Or right before Hot Sauce, I got into the group, and then, you know, they released Hot Sauce, and it's like, yes, I'm definitely going to be collecting for this group. So that's where I'm starting off for them. So there is a lot that needs to be collected. And then we finally start with my Ranjin collection, which also a lot of progress needs to be made at some point, but I'm just kind of taking my time. Though I do hope to finish off with Hot Sauce soon. I actually have his Jewel Case cards on the way. And of course I don't have like enough of these like white fillers for all these pages, as you may have noticed. So I just took those 2 out because I knew they were on the way in preparation, and so I could use them elsewhere. And yeah, and hopefully at least the 2 like album cards I have for like Hot Sauce and Hello Future that I'm missing, I do hope to like finish that out. And when it comes to things like the Kinos, I'll get those when I get those. I also would like to make some progress with glitch mode and beatbox. And don't even ask me about Candy. I am so far behind, but I guess that's what this page is left for. But oh, it's gonna be hard to get some of his cards. So hard. But that is a future me problem. I'm not gonna worry about that. And then we have a final page, which is just like random non-album Rungeon cards. And this is where I keep them. Don't have a lot, but I am happy with what I have, and hopefully that can grow over time. And then we do have a Super M. Honestly, the only members of Super M I'm kind of interested in are NCT members. So I had decided that I was going to collect Mark for Super M, which is why I, have his cards here. And then I decided I'll go ahead and also collect the Taeyong cards. I've actually kind of redone this. What I plan is, like, for their first release, this is where the Taeyong cards will go. The one Mark card I'm missing will go down here. And the Super one, Taeyong will go here. So that will kind of like help fill the page. And this is where all the ID cards have. I have all of Mark's, I just need to get Taeyong's. And that's all I have for them. I know they've announced a comeback, so that will probably change. And maybe I'll actually start working on this collection, because it's been on the back burner for a good long while. And that is basically NCT there. Just trying to do a lot of catch up for them. It's a lot easier to keep on track for 127 just because their releases are released in US stores. Unlike NCT Dream. So they're a little harder. But yeah, I do hope to make some good progress, so I have a lot less empty spaces the next time we go through this. Oh yes, and the larger inclusion binder. Of course, with all the changes to the collections, it just made sense to move those over to their own binder. They don't take up a lot of room right now. But for larger inclusions, I've kind of gotten to the point where I just keep whatever I get. And mainly be happy with that. Maybe for my biases, I'll hunt their stuff down. But yes, pretty much the same pattern as the photo cards. So we have full group, move to 127. And I just happened to notice, like, I actually pulled a Taehyul and a Taeyong bookmark from favorites. I just like had it chilling there in in the album on my shelf, and I happened to like go through them and realize, oh hey, I have stuff that I can put away. And that is just what I pulled from favorite. And I got so close to actually being able to pull the full unit of members here for these, or at least for this version. I still want to get the Tails. I don't know why Tail just did not want to come to me for postcard in his postcard version. Of course, we got some Dream. And yeah, a lot of this needs to actually be kind of set, because I need to actually attach these to the page so they're not just kind of flying around wherever. And I do need to get the Taeyong for the Super M, but again, not in any hurry for that, especially since it's larger inclusions, and I am just never in any hurry for the larger inclusions. So with that wraps up NCT, and again, that's the last collection I have that a group has its own binder. Everything else is just going to be a mix, but it's only 2 binders left. Um, so that said, I'll take a short break on my end, and I'll be back in no time on yours. Right, and we are on to my last miscellaneous binder. Well, not last, let's say active miscellaneous, because I do have one more binder and it's all the unactive like collections I have. So we start off, and we actually start off with some J-pop, straight J-pop, no K-pop whatsoever. I'm a big fan of Oda Sakura from Morning Musume. For all their singles, they have trading cards. So I'm trying to put together a full collection for her. Slowly doing it just because it's harder to find these cards, though they're so cheap in comparison to a lot of K-pop albums. That said, the group did release one final single last year, so I should have that on the way, and hopefully, slowly keep growing that, or this collection, and have a bunch of extra pages for it for reasons I can't even remember. And after that, we move on to my little Blackpink collection, which is of just rosé. And so far, it's just albums releases, because I do have everything for their first album, the album. I'm not completely done for Born Pink, but as you can see, I'm only missing 3 cards, and this isn't a priority collection. I'll get cards when I get cards, but yeah, this is the only thing I can think of me actually actively collecting. I do have all the Polaroids, and then this is the miscellaneous page. I think this is a paw from Born Pink. And which release was that? I want to say it's How You Like That, but I'm probably wrong. But this is from one of their other releases, and someone offered it as a trade, so I said, sure, why not? And that is basically how this collection is probably going to grow in the long run. Let's see, I still have one of the postcards from the album, and don't have all the larger inclusions. I still need to figure out what I'm doing with all of them, but that's what I have in store so far. And this is my mystery collection. I'm working on collection. I don't want to see what it is quite yet. But yeah, at some point I'll fill that out in the coming year. And then we move on to aespa, where I collect Ning Ning, just really focusing on their album cards. So this is going to be a small collection since they don't have a lot of physical albums. Or, yeah. And by albums, I mean like physical releases. Because I think it's just mini albums, technically. Yes. But I am only 2 cards away from finishing their first release, which was Savage, and only 1 card, and I actually have this one secured for girls, so this will be done soon. I do plan on hopefully getting those 2 soon, so then I'm done with that. This collection needs another page for miscellaneous cards, because I do want to get a few, probably a whole lot, but there are a couple that have caught my eye and I would like to have in the collection, so I'll probably add that. But for the most part, I want this to be a nice, chill collection, so I don't mind that it's small or that I don't get much for it. And so far, so good. And again, I'm very happy that I'm at least almost done catching up with it. And after that, we have a Tribe. I'm very happy that I have all the photo cards that I wanted to get for their first and second single. Um, I collected two of the members, Sunya, or what in the world am I trying to say? Song Sun. Song Sun. It's right there. And Mireille. They're my two faves, so I am collecting for both of them. Then they had their mini album, Veni Vidi Vici, Song Sun. I'm doing pretty well with her. In fact, I think I'm done with her. I just need to catch up with Mireille and their latest, their last comeback. I need to get still. But yeah, I'm feeling pretty good overall, though. I mean, this is more than what I've had, because this is another collection that I decided to drop and then decide to collect again because I really like it. I really like the group. I didn't want to let it. Honestly, I didn't really want to let it go. So, but before I was trying to collect like the whole group, which was OT7, and it ended up being too much. So I decided to come back with it, pare down, and honestly, I've been making a lot more progress than I did beforehand when I first tried. So very happy with that. And right now it just hasn't been a priority, though I should probably at least try to pick up a few more cards in the near future. Just keep it going. Let's see, these are postcards from their debut. Of all the members. And these are kind of inclusions from their first comeback. And then, are they? Yeah, this is the final group I have in here, and that is Kingdom. I love Kingdom. And I'm so happy to see that, you know, with each comeback, they seem to grow as a group, as not only like with nailing their image, but also with like gaining fans. Because I think with their last comeback, they finally cracked 50,000 copies, and I'm so proud of them. And hopefully, you know, they just keep growing. I really love their concept and everything. And I do have some OT7 sets. Of course, sadly, Jiwoo is no longer with the group, though I have been happy with Hwan, yes, who they brought in to keep the 7 because they're a very lore heavy group, so they kind of needed the 7 to have 7 kings. But I wouldn't say that he's a replacement. I think they're different enough that, you know, you can't really say that. And yeah, I think overall they did a pretty good job of getting through that. Of course, it's sad that you had to leave, especially since we have no idea why he left still. But yeah, like I said, I have some of those OT7 sets. This is from their first comeback because they had usually, well, with the first release, they only had one version, and each member only had one card, so it just kind of made sense. It was actually pretty easy because I got into them with their debut. So it wasn't that hard to get all 7 members for that back then. A little harder these days. But after that, with all their comebacks, there's been 2 versions. Each version has its own set of 1 card per member, so you get 2 cards for each member. Though for their second comeback, they also had another set that's so you would get 2 cards per album, and the second card would be from this other like third set, which is like a message card set, which made it easier to collect all 7 of those, which is why I did OT7 there. And then moving on, these are the 3 members that I collect: Ivan, Dan, and Mugen. And this is from their first comeback, their 3rd, and 4th. And this is what I have for their 5th so far. I have not had it be a big priority. I am, though, switching that up, and at least early this year I'm going to focus on completing this. But I do at least have Mugen, which is great because he's one of the more popular members and he can be sometimes difficult to get the cards for. Let's see. Ivan is the easiest, and then he's definitely kind of like in the middle, in between them. So very happy again that I at least was able to grab the Mugen early on. But yeah, now that we've entered the new year, I'm going to focus on finishing this up so I can remain caught up with this collection like I am most of the time. These are the inclusions for their first comeback, the history of Chiwu, and this is history of Ivan. They have these little game things. And that's all I have for larger inclusions there. And that is that binder. I mean, most of these are pretty chill collections. Like I said, with Kingdom, that'll definitely grow. Do want to finish up with Ning Ning soon. And yeah, for the most part, not too much going on here, which is good, actually. Seeing how much my other collections seem to suck up all my time and money. But I'm still glad to have them. Or have these like smaller collections. They're nice little fun things, and I just really love the groups and the artists, and I don't want to I just want to do more than just listen to their music. But enough awkward rambling there. I am just going to go ahead and go through this. This is non-active collections, just kind of random things that I've gotten over the years that I've hung on to. A lot of this has not changed since the last time I kind of flipped through it. These are random Morning Musume cards and postcards. I got some Andrum postcard and like one card there. This is Kobushi Factory, which unfortunately is no longer a thing. Wait. That's not Andrum. That's Morning Musume. What am I thinking? This is Andrum. Then my little Country Girls page, they never really had trading cards except for this one release, which was more of agency-wide, where they had all their groups come together and everyone got trading cards. So, and unfortunately, Country Girls is another group that is no longer around, and I have postcards for them. And this is random Johnnies. Not a lot of groups for Johnnies have trading cards, and it's usually like one-off things or very spotty. For long, I'm not sure if Sexy Zone still does theirs, but as you can see on the back, most of it's first press release stuff, and with whatever on the back, it's usually always like attached to some kind of event over in Japan. But that's what I happen to have. Kanjani 8, for one of their albums, they had this like trading card set that featured all the members like dressed up as baseball players. I found these in when I was like going through all my albums and stuff. And this is from NYC. This is the NYC group and Nakayama Yuma on solo there. So I went ahead and just added it here. These are actually stickers. Well, these are either like postcards or stickers or temporary tattoos. These are movie flyers that have gone randomly, and that's stuff that members of Johnny's groups star in. Then we have random J-pop and J-rock stuff here. Kind of try to put some order to it. And I did find these Tetsuya trading cards that I didn't even realize the album that they came from had them until I happened to I think I was actually looking at or just wanted to check out the poster that came in, and they kind of fell out of them. It's like, oh, those exist. And looking on the back, they're the kind that you're supposed to, if you get the whole thing, you can make a picture out of. And this page is for Kagura. They were a visual K band that I really loved. I just happen to have a couple of their trading cards. And another thing I found was there's an indie J-pop idol group that I like called Choose. And for one of their releases, they had trading cards. And apparently I still just had them in kind of tucked inside the jackets of those releases. So I found those and went ahead and added them here. And these are just random inclusions for J-pop releases. Okay. And I'm not really a BTS fan. I will admit to that. I do like some of their songs here and there. So now that they're doing all these solo releases, I do check them out and see if I like the music. And I did like RM's Indigo, so I decided to go ahead and pick up a copy. And this is basically what I pulled from that. And I do have the compact version of BTS's Proof. I actually happened to pull RM so for this little postcard thing. So I still had it and realized, hey, if I was going to put stuff in here for RM for his solo release, why not just throw that in there as well? So that is what I have there. Treasure. I really, really wanted to get back into collecting for Treasure, but it's just too much for me. It's overwhelming every time I look at how many photos I would need to collect for that. So I don't want to get rid of what I do have, and thus why it's just been moved here. Though it is a collection that I think every once in a while, if I find a photo card that I want and I'm willing to pay whatever the price is for it, yeah, I'll go ahead and add it. But it's not something I'm going to be even remotely close to actually be actively working on. Though I would like to actually have a few more cards for the other two members I'm collecting, which is Asahi, who is my main bias. Yoshi's a very close second though. And Jaehyuk, who I have nothing of except for this postcard. I probably should at least see about getting one card for him, so at least he's represented on the page. It's looking sad otherwise, but yeah, I do have a couple larger inclusions that I have here, and that's it for Treasure. And it'll pretty much live here unless I ever change my mind. So yeah. And then really liked Utano Prince Sama, so I got a lot of their releases as first press, so I have a lot of their cards. Don't really gotten much for them recently. I kind of fell out a bit. Still enjoy them though. These are from Neo Wing. I happened to get like, since I pre-ordered all these albums, got that as a bonus. And this is just a whole bunch of random stuff. Really nothing to kind of keep it all together or on theme, honestly. So lots of random like anime things. I found these old, what is it, Fleer Ultra? Like X-Men cards. I had so many of these when I was younger. This is just like a fraction. I don't know what happened to the rest. I am kind of tempted to gain the rest of Generation X because I loved that series and that team. But I figure I might as well throw it just in here because I also found some Overpower cards and just kind of kept a very small handful of cards that I wanted to. Jubilee is like one of my top favorite X-Men, so definitely needed her. Yeah, and I had some Pogs the last time. Really have not gotten any more. Though I do kind of want to hunt down and get some more Gargoyles Pogs, since these are the ones that came with like Burger King Kids Club meals. And then some random anime cards. This is actually a flyer for Star Wars Rogue One. And then we have this, and what this is that sometimes I get cards and they're damaged. Like really damaged, and to the point that I don't want to give them to anyone. So instead I just decided that I'm going to throw them in the back here. But yeah, most of it is just their bends, and can't really tell so much because they're in the sleeves, but let's see. Let's see if I can bring one up. I'm not sure because the light is failing right now. Yeah, you really can't. Maybe another day, but usually there's, like on this one, it is bent pretty bad. But I do have another copy of it, which is, a better copy of it. So I have that stored, and these are just kind of back here because I don't want to throw them away. But again, I don't want to like try to trade or sell them because they are damaged. So yeah, they just live here. And with that is actually all I have for my card collection. Sorry that it took so long for me to film this. But hopefully the videos, they'll speed up a bit now. I do have some things coming in the mail, so I'll have those unpacking to do. And I'll definitely gonna be doing my best on keeping on track to do the usual story video at the end of the month. But we will see. I'm just thinking because also at the end of the month we have that TXT release, which I'll definitely be doing the unboxing for the Target versions. Um, that may come a little later in the day than usual, just because I do work in the morning. And then if they ask me to stay for a little longer, I probably will say yes, because I need that money. Definitely need that money so I can afford all this K-pop. Um, that, and I've also gone back to trading on Instagram. So yeah, there's actually going to be quite a bit of movement um, with these collections. Yeah, pretty much starting this month. Really looking forward to it, especially some of these where, I'm doing a lot of expansions. For some of them, I do have a good amount of cards already to help out with those. So really looking forward to being able to fill those pages up. And yeah, other than that, I know I need to keep working on bettering my filming equipment. I think even though I need the new camera, I'm going to try to find a better solution to, I guess, my tripod issue, because of how things are. I don't film at a desk, I film on the floor. And I need to find a better solution for being able to do shots like this than what I've got going on, because I know that it's like almost constantly moving, and that bothers me, and I'm sure that bothers people who are watching as well. So that's next on my priority list. So hopefully when I have money, and thus who knows when that will be, because the releases are not slowing down like at all. But yeah, hopefully I can get that figure out, or get whatever I need to get, I guess, to fix that sooner rather than later. But other than that, I am really excited that I can edit, so that way I can make a massively long video like this one is bound to be. And that just kind of opens a lot of things up, so I'm really happy about that. So that all said, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up because I've waited too long as it is to put this up, and I definitely want to get this uploaded, so that way I'm ready for when I start getting, my new hauls in. So thank you so much for watching, especially if you watched all of it. If you're interested in, watching my collection grow, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel, and I appreciate any likes or comments, and until next time, bye.